Yeah, let me congratulate Dr. Dosumu and the foundation for inviting me to this program. I want to let you know that it's very unfortunate I couldn't be there physically, but I want to seize this opportunity to let you know that I'm very, very interested in this program of skill development and technical and vocational training for our young people. And I want to say that this type of forum is very, very important because it re-emphasizes for us the urgency that is required in terms of skills development, which is germane for economic growth and development in Nigeria, which is also very, very important to strengthen partnership, collaboration, and cooperation between the state actors and the non-state actors. The state actors are the government-owned institutions at the federal, state, at the local level, and the non-state actors are the non-government organization, which this foundation is one of them, and many other civil society organizations, philanthropies, foundations, who are also interested in the issue of technical and vocational training and skills development. So this part of forum we now bring to for the urgency in terms of the requirement to scale up what is already working within the Tvet ecosystem in terms of what we can do to be able to strengthen the Tvet systems in Nigeria. And this is very important because of the disconnect between what is happening within the formal education and the labor market. So what we are trying, we are trying to do and support, and we should discuss, is how do we bridge the gap in terms of what is required in the labor market and what is being taught in terms of the technical and vocational training. And the one that we should know, even within the Tvet training, we have the formal one and the informal, non-formal training. The formal training are the one in the regular technical and vocational institutions at the federal, at the state level, and then the informal one are the one in which associations, all those outside, and then in Nigeria, informal is formal. Normality is not what is formal, because at the end of the day, normality is the informal, in which that's why we have many of our people in different types of vocational trades. So what we try to do and we try to say is that to look what are the binding constraints to increase the number of our youths into the technical and vocational trade, to improve the quality and the relevance of technical and vocational trade, and of course to impact on the economic growth and development of the country in terms of what is required in the market, in the labor market. We also have to focus on the issue of the perception in terms of, so that more of our young people, they will be able to be part of this trading in which that is required for the economic growth. If you look at the secondary school education, you see more students in the conventional secondary education instead of technical and vocational training. So I appreciate what this foundation is doing. How do we attract many of our young people to technical and vocational training? And some of the challenges that we have is that it needs to be more inclusive. We need more women. We need to focus on the physical challenge children, and of course to also look for the vulnerable groups within the society. How do we give them more skills, more support in terms of to improve their socio-economic situation, so that they will know that being a technical and vocational is not a dead end. They can also improve, they can continue after their training to go to polytechnic and university. And this is possible with National Skills Qualification Framework that is being developed by National Board for Technical Education, with sector skill councils and all those people that are really, really interested for each type of either child care in which this foundation is interested, so that they will be able to know wherever you are, you can be assessed in terms of how do you move yourself from level 1 of the National Skills Qualification Framework in your own trade to level 6. So there is no barrier for anybody in technical and vocational training that you can be tested. That's why we have National Board for technical and for board for educational assessment of those people in technical and vocational. So what I want to tell this audience is that there is urgency now in terms of how do we get more of our young people into skills, to have the relevant skills that is demand for the labor market. We also need partnership between the public sector and the private sector, between the state actors and the non-state actors. When you talk about state actors, we need partnership, collaboration, cooperation at the federal, state, and the local government level. And of course, for the non-state actors, we are talking about civil society, non-government organization, foundation, philanthropies, like this Thef. So we really appreciate, and of course, to now see how we can bridge the partnership between the state actors and the non-state actors. So these are the things that we are talking about. And then lastly is to focus on results in the outcomes, which issue of data, whatever you cannot measure, you cannot improve. So we need to know what are the requirements in terms of quantity, in terms of the quality and relevance of the type of training we are talking about. We also have to think about what are those things that is germane for effective training, like the issue of teachers. We need more technical teachers. We need to improve the quality of our technical teachers so that at the end of the day, they'll be able to give more relevant knowledge to our students. You can't give what you don't have. So improving the quality of our teacher, technical teacher is well done. The same thing for the instructors in the master craftsman. We need to improve their quality, give them the right type of exposure and type of accreditation and certification so that they will be able to continue to improve and continue to deliver for Nigeria. And I also want to say that I'm very, very pleased in terms of what this foundation is trying to do, is to create an awareness, especially during this time of COVID era, because most of these issues have been there before the COVID. But now with COVID and post-COVID, the issue of digitalization, ICT, and using technology to drive technical and vocational training is now very, very germane. We'll now be talking about e-learning, e-teaching, so that we leverage on technology and the environment can be more conducive for learning. So there's no barrier of space, time in which people can continue to learn, continue to improve themselves. So the last thing I want to say is that for us in the World Bank, there is a program that we are currently doing, which is Innovation and Development Effectiveness for Skills Acquisition, IDS project. The project has 4 components. One of them is to have centers of excellence in 40 technical colleges in Nigeria. It covers most of all the federal technical colleges and some participating states that are with 33 colleges in participating states in each geopolitical zone. So we can use this to leverage into what is happening within the technical college system, in which we have centers of excellence for different trades. And these participating states are Ekiti, Benue, Kano, Gombe, Abia, and Edo. These are the participating states, and we are going to continue to support them and continue to see how we can continue to improve the Tvet systems in those states. Another thing is the informal sectors. This is being driven by National Board for Technical Education, and we are ready to support them for all that is required for National Skills Qualification Framework. And then the third component is on human resource development in terms of the teacher, technical teachers, instructors, and all those that can help us to drive the system in terms of knowledge and improve with partnership with the private sector and so on and so forth. And then the last one is the digitalization, digital skills, strengthening the system. We want to say that the private sector need to be in the forefront and germane of this technical and vocational and skills development. Why? Because it's like a deficit model for the private sector to allow all these students to come out of school before they start to give them skills. Why can't we bring the skills to them when they are still in the college, so that they can meet the demand of the labor market? So in short, I think this is the way to go. We need to focus on this middle level manpower for the country, technical and vocational, and we see how to scale up what is working, widen the scope of what is working, and bring innovation, so that at the end of the day we can have the right type of and relevant skills for the demand of the labor market in Nigeria. Thank you very much.